think we are ready to start. If you have any questions during the session, please go ahead and type it in the chat and we'll address those questions at the end of the session. I'm going to hand it over to Sanjeev Datta. He is going to be our first presenter today.
Thanks, Dee. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our webinar session. We are very excited to partner with FICO in producing our solutions and showcasing what we've been doing in the industry of optimization as well as call center staffing. I'll give you a quick background information about myself, and then I will get into it, into my portion of the presentation. So my name is Sanjeev Datta from Cresco. I'm the principal here at Cresco. I've been working in the analytics space for over 20 years as a consultant and helping organizations in different challenges and solving their challenges using data, whether it's data warehouse, predictive, or optimization use cases. And so very excited to be here. Part of I would call it my passion. I wouldn't call it my job. My passion is to hear what clients have to say about their business challenges and help them solve these solutions. And so the reason why we're here today is to talk to you about some of the things that we have been doing in the industry for the last 2-3 years now, specifically focused on workforce solutions for call centers. So what the objectives on the next slide, we have the objectives that I want to walk you through today for today's webinar. And so what we've noticed the last few years is, the typical buzzwords in the business world today are cloud, automation, customer experience, just to name a few. But with all these challenges, optimization on the business front is key to a successful implementation, and also keeping in mind that we want to see a return for all our clients with all these activities that are being implemented today in different industries and use cases. So we put together something for you guys, and in today's session, we want to focus on some of the work that we've been doing over the past few years, challenges that are faced by our clients, how we get approached, how we overcome them with technology that we use, and we create something of value that an organization can say, you know what, we've invested and we started seeing returns. So starting from improving customer experience and also boosting employee engagements, but also keeping costs down and leveraging decision optimization in staffing solutions, specifically for call centers, right? So the agenda for today, we'll discuss the how-tos, how we came up with this, the different challenges, how we're leveraging new age and mature technology such as machine learning and what we call as ML++ or decision optimization to target those areas that will produce high returns in a very short amount of time, but also bring additional business buy-ins as the success of the technology and our use cases improve within the company. We'll also discuss the technology and our partnership with the good folks at FICO, and we'll talk about how together both companies are bringing the technology, the brand, the skill sets, and we're bringing these out of the box solutions that can be deployed either on-prem, on cloud, or just in a hybrid approach. And so making this a successful launch within your organization as you guys go towards looking at such solutions. So on the next slide, I'm going to talk about, next slide, please. So the importance of call centers, right? So today, when we talk about call center, most solutions come with chatbots. And when we talk to clients, they say, oh yeah, we're optimized, we're automated, we're using chatbots, right? But and they might be using some fancy hardware that becomes more of a holding pattern for customers, or just kind of create a queue callback system to save, valuable customer time, and create an environment where basically patience is a key metric now, and systems have the intelligence to bring that information to call center managers and executives. But beyond that, and in general, when we focus on the customer experience, what we're looking at is, 88% is for companies worldwide, customer experience is a top priority, right? but customer experience also comes at a cost. So how do you manage, how do you balance these costs so it doesn't eat into your profit margins? And while executives today strive to build lean organizations that improve the bottom line, the inbound and outbound calls that need or require live agents, which can also be leveraged by part of it by chatbots, they've done their job in queuing customers and creating priority lists and routing calls. But this is where our solution comes in and adds value. So if you're a customer that is leveraging any kind of chatbot system today, just know that there are always other ways of improving and adding value to your company that is beyond the chatbot component of call centers. So with that, on the next slide, I just want to drill down a little bit more into the different, I would say, challenges within a call center that are being focused on, and there are quite a few. So as we go through each one of these, Meysam, do you mind just going through all of them real quick, and then once they're on the screen? Yeah, thank you. So the idea behind this is call centers are focused on managing labor costs and maintaining that balance between schedules and obviously the challenges to keep up with, employee turnover these days and understaffing, leading to potential customer frustration, loss of brand value, and just overstaffing. These are some of the challenges, and they tend to become expensive cost centers for companies where they should be profit centers, right? And so over the last few years, and studies have shown by major companies that there are large investments required to improve the skills of customer care workers today. Something that was considered to be a low-skilled job a few years ago is now considered to be a very highly skilled job, where a lot of dollars go into training to ensure that the workers are faced with the metrics of cross-selling and upselling products and services just to improve the customer care and satisfaction at the same time. So how is this done, right? So we've worked with our customer base, we've implemented these in numerous places, and we've also noticed how company executives, what they're doing is they're mapping customer journey and using design thinking sessions and so on to reconfigure the traditional customer care approach and enhance customer experience. So that balance that I just mentioned, execs who are considering, moving or shifting from an outsourced model to an in-house support model is being done because they've realized today companies need to build customized capabilities of their own products and solutions. So all of these create the challenge that call centers are facing today and will continue to do in the future. So on the next slide, we pulled some information from some research, and basically this is a study from a few years ago. Some of the top technologies that are driving call centers are focused on, this is over the last, across 15 countries with over hundreds of different companies that were involved in this study. And lately, what we've seen is there's a shift in the way things are working, where workforce management is shown as the third priority. But over the last 2 years, workforce has taken the center stage. And although these numbers that you're seeing on your screen are pre-pandemic from the study, in a post-pandemic world, we're dealing with the trends of quiet quitting, and the workforce management is now leading these forward-thinking companies. And so because the tech is more, I would say, widely available, decision makers are more accepting and trusting of the technology that's out there. We have seen a huge amount of success in the way we're helping companies reduce cost and keeping customer satisfaction and SLAs at a high. So on the next slide, I want to talk to you something about where this came up from, right? And this is something that being in the industry for over 2 decades, I watched this at a Gartner event, and we've taken this slide from I think it was 2011 when Gartner presented and said the future of analytics is going to be what you're seeing on your screen. So today, where you have we still have these challenges of descriptive analytics and why did it happen? So people just doing diagnostics analytics, not necessarily just for healthcare, but pretty much trying to figure out, like, why are we doing things and what happened and how did this happen, right? Back in 2011, Gartner predicted that in the future, everyone is going to be a data scientist. And that is true today. You're seeing that everyone today, and the number of resources out there, the different universities that are producing data scientists is a very high rate. So technology has become lower cost. There's open source technology available as well. And there are products out there which companies like FICO are leveraging, and they're built as well. So in the future, what will happen? And then once we know what will happen, what can we do about what we know is going to happen? And that's where optimization comes in. We tend to call it ML++, but it's also called prescriptive analytics. Pretty much as you're seeing on your screen, it is mathematical optimization, right? It is the power of leveraging mathematical modeling to access data that you have within your organization, picking up constraints and business goals and different variables within the company, putting those in complex formulas, and then creating outputs. And those outputs could be either in maximizing revenue, minimizing cost, best timing, and what kind of combinations we could leverage based on external factors, based on internal company factors, and ever-changing the market environment. So with that, I'm going to pass it to Meysam, who's going to walk you through a little bit more details of what this looks like. I hope this slide doesn't create kind of an idea that we're going to be getting to math modeling. This is just to kind of show you how the technology works. So with that, Meysam, I'm going to pass it to you.
Thanks, Sanjeev. Hello, everyone. My name is Meysam. I'm an operations research specialist at Cresco International. I got my PhD in systems and industrial engineering with a focus on optimization under uncertainty and its applications. My main area of expertise are developing optimization models and algorithms, and I've been providing solutions that leverage optimization and machine learning techniques to many different problems in various sectors, including but not limited to logistics, supply chain, healthcare, energy, and finance. So I want to talk about more technical aspects of optimization and how we can apply it to different applications, specifically in call centers. So here we have the main structure of a mathematical optimization model. A mathematical optimization model consists of three main parts. The first part is decision variables. Using mathematical expressions, we define the decision that should be made in our business problem. So for example, it can be assignment of a resource to a shift. For example, in our call center, we want to decide which agent should be assigned to which shift. The second important part is the objective function. In the objective function of the model, we use a mathematical expression to define the objective that we want to achieve by making those decisions. For example, our objective function can be minimizing the staffing cost in a call center. And finally, we have constraints. In the constraint part, we use, again, the mathematical expressions to define the business rules and limitation in our business problem. For example, when we have a call center problem, we want to force the model to assign all of the resources to the shift, or we want to avoid assigning more than 40 hours per week to a specific or all of the agents. So as Sanjeev talked about the analytics life cycle, we saw that we should use 4 types of analytics. And here in this slide, I want to talk in more details about why we should combine machine learning and optimization together to get better solution. Machine learning is the representative of predictive analytics, and optimization is the representative of prescriptive analytics. So we have 3 main reasons. The first reason is that optimization solvers are very broadly applied to many different areas. So an optimization solver is like a motor. So it can be inserted into many different applications. So when you use an optimization solver, you can integrate the solver into your applications and then automatically crunch your data and crank out optimal solutions to your business problem. The second reason is the flexibility of optimization models. As I explained in the previous slide, we can define the objectives, decisions, and constraints of our problem using mathematical expressions. So at the end of the day, we will have a highly customized and detailed mathematical representation of our model. So we can consider every single aspect of our business problem, and also we can apply any changes to our business problem immediately. So it's so flexible. And the last reason is actually capability of making optimal decisions based on latest available data. When you only use machine learning, you are only dependent on historical data because you develop machine learning algorithms and models based on historical data. But when you combine optimization with machine learning, you can take the benefit of latest available data in addition to historical data. And the most important point here is that the reason to the second and third reason are very important, specifically for fast-paced business environment, because they increase flexibility and agility of your solution. So here, I want to talk in more details about how we can integrate predictive analytics and prescriptive analytics. So in predictive analytics, we know the answer and we train machine how to find it. But in prescriptive analytics or optimization, we don't know the answer, and we provide the machine the logic on what is good and bad in a solution, what's a good and bad solution. So we want to integrate these two concepts together to get the best result. In the predictive analytics part or machine learning part, assume that you have a large data set. For example, it's the data set of a call center. You split your data set into two parts. Like, for example, a test data set and then a trained data set. With the trained data set, you can train your predictive or machine learning model and algorithm. And with the test data set, you evaluate its accuracy. So when you train your machine learning or predictive model, with the incoming observations, you can do some predictions, classifications, or pattern identification. And this output of the machine learning algorithm can be used as the input of the optimization engine. So in the optimization engine, we use this output, for example, the predictions of the incoming calls to a call center, in addition to the mathematical expressions of our decision variables, business constraints, and objective function, which is called mathematical model as a whole. And using an optimization solver, we get the best possible decisions, plans, and a schedule that will lead to a goal, for example, a minimum staffing cost in a call center. And the good news is that optimization can be applied to a wide spectrum of areas. So it can be applied to agriculture sector, financial, healthcare, utilities, oil and gas, manufacturing, public sector, logistics and transport, and retail, and many other sectors. And the important point is that in each sector, we can apply optimization to many different problems, given that those problems have two features. The first feature is that they are reasonably quantifiable, and the second feature is that we can have a high degree of control over them. And these two features are included in many problems like scheduling problems, inventory planning, manufacturing planning problems, and any other problem that has these two features. So and scheduling is one of these problems, and specifically for this webinar, we apply optimization to the scheduling problem of a call center. And by doing that, we can use the capabilities of decision optimization, for example, automating the busy work or changing the role of a planner, for example, trading off between competing priorities, and many other capabilities. So let's talk in more details about the call center staffing optimization app. When managers of a call center have this type of call center staffing optimization app in their hands, they will have properly scheduled, trained, and engaged agents, which results in maximized productivity and efficiency. Also, they will benefit minimum cost and maximum return on investment. And according to some studies, properly optimized staffing schedules can save as much as 20% to 30% of your overall staffing cost. So when you have a call center staffing optimization app, you can reach to this goal, and have these benefits in your call center. And when you use a call center staffing optimization app in a call center, it brings a lot of benefits in different areas, like financial customer employees to your call center. For example, on the financial side, you can have maximum return on investment by reducing agent idle time and turnover. Also, you can efficiently allocate agents to the demand. Also, you can reduce the cost without a decrease in service level. On the customer side, you can easily decrease the customer's waiting time. So it will lead to satisfaction due to the in reduced wait time. Also, as a result of that, you can increase the loyalty to the company. And finally, on the employee side, which is very important, we will have optimum distribution of workload, which leads to increased employee satisfaction. Now, in this slide, I want to talk about the structure and skeleton of our call center staffing optimization app. But before that, I just want to briefly go over our business challenge and problem. So we have a call center of an insurance company, and this call center aims to minimize its staffing costs without hurting the abandoned call rates. And this is an insurance company, so the call center receives different calls about different types of insurance, like home insurance, health insurance, life insurance, and many other insurance types. So each call requires a unique set of skills, and only the agents who have those skills can answer the call. And similarly, our agents have different sets of skills. So, when we don't have enough available agents with the required skills for a specific call type, the call will be abandoned. So the goal is that we minimize this abandon rate call, and at the same time, we minimize the cost. So one alternative to hiring new agents when we have a shortage in our agents is cross-training. And cross-training means that you train your existing agents with new skills so they can take the calls that they didn't used to take. So this is the big picture of this business challenge. And here we want to talk about the optimization engine of this application. So we have the different inputs. So the first input is client requirements, for example, the information about salary or shifts or work regulations, the skills required for calls and the skills of the agents, and many other information. The other input is historical data, and this historical data is related to past incoming calls, information like the type of the incoming call, the arrival time, the duration of the call. And this historical data is the input of our machine learning algorithms. So they forecast the future calls in the next few days over the planning horizon. Then the optimization engine, which is equipped with optimization models and algorithms, gets this input and generates optimal agents schedule, optimal cross-training plans and schedules, in addition to providing some reports regarding KPIs or key performance indicators, such as agent utilization rates, SLA levels, agent shortage, and abandoned call rates. So with these KPIs, managers can compare different scenarios and make the best decisions based on the reported KPIs for the given data and scenarios. So here we have the first poll, and I just want to send the poll. And actually, the first question is, have you heard of decision optimization before this webinar? I just want to launch this poll.
Yes, if everyone could take a few minutes to just answer these questions, that would be great. The first one we have here is, have you heard of decision optimization before this webinar? Okay, Meysam, do you want to continue to the second?
Yes, of course. The second question is, are you currently working in operations research or decision optimization in your organization? And let me launch this poll so you can answer.
On to the third one.
And would you want more info or training in this area of analytics?
Okay, let's go ahead and close the polling, and Meysam, if you wanted to go ahead and continue.
Thank you. Thank you, Dee. So now I want to show you a demo of our call center staffing optimization application. So in this platform, you can see a lot of apps. For example, it's like, for example, one of the apps is the call center staffing optimization app that I want to talk about. We have like, for example, energy forecast app. We have vehicle routing optimization app or flight scheduling app and many other apps. The good point about this platform is that you can launch multiple applications at the same time and solve multiple optimization problems at the same time. So you are not limited only to just one app. And the most important advantage of our call center staffing optimization app is that you can get the optimal solutions, including optimal schedules and optimal cross-training plans in minutes. But if you want to use traditional methods like hiring some scheduling coordinators and do it manually, it takes a few weeks. And you should pay a lot of costs for that, and waste a lot of time. And at the end of the day, when you do it manually, you will get in the best case a good plan or a good schedule, but not the best one or not a near optimal schedule or plan, because there are billions of combination of the schedules, and because you have a lot of agents, a lot of working shifts. But when you use this application, it will find the best schedule and plan out of billions of possible plans and schedules. So let's take a look at the app. So we have a scenario manager here. First of all, we need to give at least one scenario to the app. And for example, here I have already created 4 scenarios, and each scenario includes all the input data that I have already discussed in the previous slide. So let's assume that I want to see the optimal schedules and plans for this scenario. So I add this scenario. Once I add the scenario, I can see all the tabs related to this application. So this is the introduction page. You can get some information about the app, general information, and we have different tabs and for results and inputs. So let's take a look at the control panel parameters as the first input. So these are the most important parameters that heavily affects our optimal solution. For example, the salary of the agents, the total number of hours each agent should work. For example, if we want to do cross-training or not, what's the training cost, and what penalty we want to consider for any unit of agent shortage or agent understaffing. And in the second tab, we will have the forecasted calls. And these forecasted calls are actually the output of the machine learning algorithms. So we have like more than 2,000 tables, and this is the future forecasted incoming calls for the future. For example, if you go to the, for example, next table, you see that we will have around 21 calls from this type, ACIC billing, on October 12th at 6:30 p.m., right? So this is one. Also, you have the filtering options. For example, if you just want to see the information about ACIC billing, you can filter the tables so you only see the results related to that type of call. So, you know, the number of the tables decreased to 400 from 2000. And the next input data is the information about the queues of our call type. So each call type has its own specific queue, and we have the information about the queue, like the queue ID. And the important point is that you can edit all of these input parameter values here. Also, you can add or remove these rows. So you can manipulate your scenario even here before, after defining your scenario. The other one is the call history. So here you will have different information. For example, when a call has arrived and what's the location, what's the duration of the call, and many other information that is mainly used by the machine learning algorithms. And the other important information or input is the skills required for each call. So if you just want to see each call requires which skills, you can also filter the name, and you can see that, for example, MFL call type needs these 3 skills. And in the next part, you will have the information about the agent's skills. And so, for example, if you want to see what's the skill set of agent 630, you can filter 630. You see, and you see that you can see that this agent has 7 skills. And finally, we will have information about the break. So we should have some alternatives for the suggested break times, and the optimization solver identifies the best break time for each agent in each shift based on this given information. After we insert all of these input data to the app, so we are ready to actually solve the model and get the optimal solution within minutes by clicking on solve. But this is a huge problem, and it takes a few minutes to give the solution. And because we have limited time in this webinar, I have already ran the optimization and I have the results. So, but I just want to show you what's the process of solving the problem using optimization solver. So if you click on view run log, you can see the report of optimization process. So every single step of optimization algorithm and its output is reported here. So you can see the details if you want to manipulate your algorithm or change the settings of default settings of the solver, for example. And so when we run the optimization, we can see the result. The first result is the agent schedules and cross-training schedule. So for example, here you can see that agent 71 will work in this week from October 12th to October 18th. On Friday, he or she should be working from 11:30 to 4:30 p.m. And in another shift, she should be working from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Also, we will have some information about optimal cross-training schedules. And if you go, so you can see that, for example, some parts shows that we have cross-training plans. So, for example, these 2 columns says it's the cross-training class. So you can, so for example, for this one shows that agent 630 is going to be cross-trained on Saturday from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. So she's not going to take their calls because she's in the class. This is the first one, and the second output is the cross-training plan. So it says that agent, for example, 71 is going to be cross-trained for skill 42. And here we have some KPIs. So what's the staffing cost in each week? And this is the minimum staffing cost based on the optimization output. And so you can see this output in different formats. For example, in this format and different formats. So also we have a penalty cost because we consider a penalty for agent shortage. So we have different formats. Also, we have information about the number of working agents in each week, and we can see the output in different formats. Also, we have information about the number of Cresco engine and agent shortage. For example, we will have for example, one agent shortage on Monday for from 1 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. For call type 106. So what if we want to compare multiple scenarios at the same time? So if I go to the scenario manager, I can add one more scenario. So I want to compare the result when we pay more salary and high salary. So now you have two scenarios. I have already created this scenario, but if you want to create this scenario now, you just need to clone the scenario, to duplicate the scenario and change the value. So for example, if I go to the control parameters, you can see that the salary here, this is the low salary scenario, is 22.5, the salary in this scenario. But when I duplicated this scenario and created a new scenario, you can see that I've changed the value to 30. So I can see the results for both and compare the results. For example, if I go to agent schedules, now I see the schedule for a low salary scenario. If I drag and drop the high salary scenario to the left, so I can see the schedule for this scenario. Also, I can compare the cost on the side in a side-by-side format. For example, what's the staffing cost in the high salary scenario versus low salary scenario, and I can compare them in different formats. The same for penalty costs, or for example, working agents, and also, for example, the number of actually agent shortage or understaffing. So, for example, we can see that here for the low salary scenario, we will have 2 agent shortage for this call type on Monday from 12:30 to 1 p.m. But we don't have any agent shortage for high salary scenario. So manager can compare these scenarios to make the best decision. And also we have some options, administrative options, for example, jobs, that optimization jobs, or some administrative features. Here you can manage the applications from administrative point of view, like, for example, Tableau features or authority group. So this is the brief overview of the application. And now I just want to talk about what required technology we need to build a call center staffing optimization solution like this. Before that, let me explain a little bit about the process of optimization when we are working on a real-world business problem. It includes 6 main steps. The first step is actually defining a business problem. So the real-world problem instance is usually derived from a specific planning problem. Then we need a model generator to create a mathematical model or mathematical, programming model. And then the model generator inserts the input data to the model, so we will have a model instance. In the next step, we should choose a good optimization solver to solve the model instance and get the optimal solution. When we solve the optimal solution, we retrieve the solution, and finally, the solution is transferred back to the planning system for further analysis. And this cycle repeats until a satisfying real-world solution has been found. But the question is, what's the best optimization solver? Because it's very important. We have a few features, and an efficient optimization solver should have all of these features. For example, we should have the high performance, solver. It should be able to solve multi-objective optimization solvers, multi-objective optimization problems. It should relax infeasibility and identify the root of infeasibility. It should be equipped with heuristic algorithm. And we have some reasons behind each of these features. For example, our large scale problems leads to large scale models. So low performance solver cannot solve the problem, or we should trade off between multiple objectives. So we need a solver with multi-objective optimization capability. And also we need some heuristics to get the solution fast, because sometimes it's very time consuming to get the solutions. So in the next slide, Thaylon, the senior consultant, optimization consultant at FICO, is going to talk about FICO Express technology, because this is the technology that we use to build this application, because FICO Express is the solver that checks all of these features.
Thanks, Meysam. Hello, everyone. Just before I start, a little introduction of myself. I'm Thaylon Nogueira. I've been working at FICO for the past 3 years now, based in São Paulo, Brazil, and wearing different hats. As I started here, responsible for helping the development of the optimization market in the Latin America region, and currently I'm part of a global team that helps our partners to understand how to get the most out of our optimization solutions using our Express technology. So my background is also on the optimization space, whereas for plus 10 years now, I have delivered optimization projects and solutions for major consulting companies here in Latin America. Very excited to be here and share with you how FICO software has been enabled very powerful optimization solutions to be delivered, such as the one that we just saw with the call center staffing from Cresco. So FICO's technology has been recognized by several third-party market research companies as a leading company for providing pieces of software that supports this decision-making process. And no matter which type of industry we're discussing, but more importantly, FICO was responsible to, in many of them, to development of certain critical concept and aspects of this decision process, such as, for instance, the score, which in US market, we are leading markets as well. And since then, we've been working close with those market leaders and to understand how we can leverage, or how they can leverage on analytics to help this decision-making process in the main challenge that they face. And because of that, today FICO have presence in more than 100 countries, offices in more than 20 countries, and a large presence in market leaders, companies around the world. Next slide, please, Meysam. Specifically in the optimization space, today we have a massive presence in the market with more than 300 clients using our software to address problems on a variety of use cases. Next slide, please, Meysam. And part of this success of FICO in this area is especially due to the fact that our approach to optimization is more comprehensive than usually we can find in the market with our competitors. That's because FICO have identified that one of the major problems with advanced analytics project was to close in the gap between analytics teams and business users teams. Also, it is during those type of projects, it's very important to have a rapid cycle interaction between the identification of a new feature, its development, and put it available to a business user to test, to validate it. And finally, of course, also having the ability to publish that into production in a faster way. So next slide, please, Meysam. Yeah, so in fact, Gartner has released several studies stating that most of the analytics projects, like around 80% of them, don't see production environment. And from those who does, 50% don't make it to its first year. And exactly because trying to bring closer these players responsible for successful advanced analytics projects, as I said, FICO's approach goes beyond being a solver provider, but rather having a whole set of tools that ultimately is responsible to deploy comprehensive applications based on optimization models on corporate production environment. This with a user-friendly interface, just like the one that we just saw here on the Calcete staffing. And with this approach, what is interesting is that we have then the ability to integrate specific demands of our that our clients may have, and because of that, it's important to have some sort of flexibility in terms of the engagement that is required for each one of those demands and use cases. Usually when we're discussing an optimization solution, the central piece is its solver, right? And FICO's Express has been used in a wide range of problems, frequently promoting like benchmarks to compare and assess its performance. But it's not only about the linear programming solver, but also we have a much more robust offer in the market with the non-linear programming and also constraint programming. And if we move up on the abstraction layer, we can bring up other tools as well that will help us in the deliverance of those mathematical model solutions. So we can bring an IDE that will help us on the development and build those type of applications. And of course, then a solution or a platform where we can deploy these applications, and that would allow business users to interact with such advanced tools. So if you can go to the next slide, Meysam. So that's exactly the purpose of our Express suite. So it's not only focused on helping the technical folks, helping the analytics teams, but also how can we scale on different use cases using the same platform, the same technology, and also how can we empower the business users on the usage of such advanced tools. And the next slide, Meysam. So just to wrap up my contribution here, and especially to position what is that FICO wants to bring on the table in terms of its value, it's very important to highlight certain features such as the one that Meysam just showed us, the scenario management. This is something quite unique and powerful in our platform, and this really helps on the development cycle because we don't have to worry about specific coding for enabling this type of features. And of course, for the business users, because this is quite powerful for them to have the ability to perform what-if analysis and compare results from scenarios side by side. And not only that, but also this can be viewed on a very extensive set of BI and reporting tools. So we can have like very fancy dashboards that will integrate with the output of an optimization model. And this really allows that business users have like a soft curve when they are learning, and later on when they are extracting the maximum value of such a tools.
Thank you, Thaylon. So we have a second set of poll questions here. I'm going to just go ahead and launch these, and then if you could just take a few seconds to answer these. The first one is the topic discussed in this webinar relevant to you? Okay. And then the second question. Are you currently applying OR functions in your current role? And the third one, would you be interested in adding this solution or any other decision optimization solution within your organization? Okay. Meysam, you can continue.
All right, so this is
Thank you,
my
everyone.
cue here. Thanks, Dee. Thanks, Meysam. So this is, getting towards the end of the hour, and I wanted to discuss who we are. So you've seen what we do and our capabilities, our solutions, our partnership with FICO. We're also partnered with major cloud providers, and pretty much defines what we do as a company. We're based out of Dallas, Texas, and majority of the work that we've done is working with our very valuable partners mentioned over here. The idea behind this is we work with the partner, we're certified, we've got all these credentials to bring to the end customer the trust that our partners have in us, we bring together. So we bring more of a management consulting approach that brings along technology to solving solutions that are based on data science and decision optimization. And as a company, we target on creating the ROI for our clients. What's different about us is that we help you from end-to-end solution, whether it's advisory, should we even go down this path? Is it worth our time as a client? You decide to, you watch some webinars, you read about some stuff, you hear word of mouth. Does it actually even work with our company? All the way to, yes, it does. We want the service, we want the software, and we also want training. And so what's really important in these solutions, as Thaylon mentioned, is that a majority of these products and projects don't go as planned. And the reason behind that is the value of data. So we have teams that help with data cleansing and prepare the data enough so that a decision optimization consultant or a data scientist can very well start working on clean, valuable data to start making decisions. And that's why we have such a high rate of successes during our implementations, whichever way it is. How do we get successful? Well, one is leveraging technology, bringing our consulting skills and also our team with us. We've got extensive amount of experience. The work that we've done showcases in terms of success stories that we've done. I've put together 3 success stories for you. They're from different industries, and the reason why we've done that is to kind of show you in the data science and optimization space, this is the typical ROI that we've created for companies in the retail space, in the franchise storefront phase, as well as supply chain, and in the healthcare space. So what you're looking at is close to about a 1.5 billion in ROI that we've created just over 15 to 24 months in working across 3 major clients. And so this is kind of value that we bring to the table, and how we do that is by jumpstarting our solution on the FICO technology. And so what that does is that enables us to bring these different steps into your environment, into your organization, to create customized, scalable solutions that will help launch much quicker than the typical build from scratch approach. And so with that, I would just basically, ask you guys if you have any questions, and you can type or chat, or you can email us afterwards. But Dee, I'll pass it back to you.
Sure. Thank you, Sanjeev. We do have a couple of questions. Let me go over those. The first one I have is, what types of machine learning and optimization models and algorithms have you used in this application? I think this one probably goes to Meysam. You can help answer.
Great question. So on the predictive analytics or machine learning part, we have used 2 different types of machine learning algorithm. One of them is ARIMA, and the other one is random forest with autoregression. On the optimization part, we have used 2 optimization models. One is for scheduling, the other one is for cross-training. The models are deterministic models and mixed integer programming models. And also we have an optimization algorithm, which is responsible for assigning agents to the skills for the cross-training purpose.
Thank you, Meysam. Hope that answers the question. The second one I have is, I see you mentioning FICO Express as a platform that enables development of analytics applications. How does it integrate with other development toolkits as we have on the market? Specifically, there's any incompatibility or, and do I have to adopt it in its fullest? Also, does it allow to integrate with other systems such as AWS chatbot? Thaylon, do you think you can help answer this question?
Yes, sure. So as I mentioned, I guess one of the key features of our platform is its flexibility to integrate when it comes to incorporate a final solution. So, for instance, you could have just the Express solver to develop your mathematical model and then run it in a very comprehensive solver, which was the case here with this application, right? So we have the solver, which is from FICO, but on the other hand, the analytics model that Meysam just mentioned, it was developed and tested using other analytic tools. So we can have, in terms of the development, combined environment that will then be encapsulated in an application that can be also deployed on top of Express inside. So we have like a very flexible model to work with other technologies when it comes to the creation of those applications. And regarding the AWS chatbot, and I guess this also answer to any other type of integration. So Insight is a pretty flexible platform, and definitely we can integrate with in a variety, in a wide range of ways with several other type of system. We can integrate through API, we can integrate with direct connections, and we can also have support to APIs from our side as well. So those other third-party systems that need the answer or the outcome of the solution that we are generating on our side can also have access to. So Express Insight, one of its great features, I guess, it's also how it enables this fullest integration with other legacy systems or other required systems that you may have for your specific application. But I guess for this AWS chatbot as well, Sanjeev, we were discussing this, I guess, last week. So you have experience with that as well, right?
Absolutely. I was going to say, to add to your point, we get a lot of clients asking about these solutions. And so if you do have, AWS or any of the cloud solutions that do chatbot, we have the capability to integrate with the FICO solution. So more than happy to show you how we've done this in the past, where, although the frontline automation or chatbots take maybe 20 to 30% of the customer requests, but then from that point on, how do you create the staffing schedules and create the ROI for the company, so that from that point onwards, you have the right amount of staff to solve these different timings and right amount of resources available. So that's a very good point. And then also there's some questions that have come up as well. So yes, there's one question about, do these apply to different staffing? Absolutely. So we've also built solutions around nurse scheduling. We did a ton of that during the pandemic, working for different hospitals and life science companies as well. So we've built solutions around staffing solutions, and that could be applied for amusement park staffing. Absolutely. The underlying technology remains the same. It's just what kind of data comes in, how we cleanse it, and how we push it out through the FICO system. And we are based out of Dallas, but we do have offices in different locations in different regions. Asia is definitely one of them. Europe is another one. So we do have a broad range of resources that we could bring to your clients or your doorstep. And then
one more question. Do you have experience working with collections call center, mostly outbound calls?
Yes, we do. And so I responded back on the chat as well. So we could send you some more information, Daniel, on that. And we absolutely, I know we're trying to, we're 3 minutes over.
Yes.
But just trying to help, just reach out to us with any queries and we will be more than happy to help answer your questions. Dee, I'll pass it back to you, and thank
Sure.
you very much from my end for everyone to attend the session. And yeah, have a great evening.
Thank you, everyone, for joining. Please reach out to us on our website or via email for any other questions or any other information that we can provide. The recording of this webinar will be available later this week. We will share that with you as well. I'm glad you made it and hope you enjoyed the session. Have a great day.